A landlord in California placed huge boulders outside of their property to prevent the homeless from camping there. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over the homelessness issue and how it's impacting landlords. So obviously, California has had this huge influx of homelessness. And on top of that, a lot of the cities and municipalities there have decided not to enforce the law, not to, push these people away. And the result has been that, hey, a lot of property owners are getting completely screwed over because these homeless people just don't give a crap. They just, they act like they own everything. So I did a story just a little while ago about this homeless person who attacked a property owner after they built an encampment on his property. That's insane. But, I see that, yes, there has to be a solution to the homeless issue, okay? There has to be somewhere for these people to sleep. I do believe that, hey, this is a big issue, but you have to also consider that, hey, you just can't put your tents, your encampment right in front of a business. This business depends upon customers to come inside and shop. And if they don't feel safe, then, they're not going to do any shopping there. They're just going to skip that business and go along somewhere else. So yeah, this property owner had every right to do what they did. And, they always say, oh, well, you need to leave the homeless alone. Well, guess what? The homeless people, they don't give a crap about you, okay? The only thing they care about is themselves. And, it's my personal belief that a lot of homeless people are very selfish because, they trash the environment that they are living in. They don't actually try to improve their lives and get out of that situation. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, hey, many of them are mentally ill, many of them are suffering from substance abuse issues, and they need to get those other problems resolved first. But that doesn't mean that we need to bend over backwards and take it up the rear because we feel sorry for them, okay? And I'm not gonna do that. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? What do you think of this sort of issue, this homelessness issue? If a homeless person was to suddenly start camping on your property, what would you do, okay? Would you call the police to have them removed? Would you let them stay there? I know some landlords, they're nice people. They'll be like, oh, you can go ahead and camp here. I know you got nowhere to go. Me personally, no, get out. Get off of my land. This is not helping my paying tenants, and I don't want to have to deal with your issues. If you're bringing drugs or if you're breaking into my properties, that's going to be a big problem. So let's get into this article. So this article is coming from cbsnews.com, and it says, Boulder measures rocks to deter camping outside Sacramento business. And this is a great article because it actually has a video with it so that I can show you exactly how bad those encampments that these tenants built looked and what the boulders look like. So let's get into the video first.
Nobody in my neighborhood feels safe.
Saida Inamdar and her husband are the property owners of this downtown Sacramento building on X Street.
We didn't think that, overnight, literally we'd find this on our property, so it happened quite quickly.
This is what the block surrounding their business looked like before city police cleared the extensive homeless camp.
I stopped counting when we had 14 tents out here.
Now, the grassy area that lines the building is home only to these boulders.
Altogether, about 120.
Qayyum Mansour put them out over the weekend.
We had to get a bobcat with a little grappling hook to place all these.
It's something he and his wife called a last resort to keep the camps from coming back. They say the crime became too much for their tenants to bear.
All right, you saw that video, so let me get into the article so we can get into some more details. For two downtown Sacramento property owners, large boulders placed along the perimeter of their X Street building have a unique job. The rocks are there to keep the homeless away. After an extensive process with the city of Sacramento, owners Saida Inamdar and Qayyum Mansour say a permit allows them to place the boulders in the grassy area near sidewalks that line their property. I can't feel safe. Nobody in my neighborhood feels safe, Inamdar told CBS 13. Before taking the drastic measure, Inamdar says other deterrence efforts were attempted. This included stadium-style lighting surrounding the building, fencing, 24/7 on-site security, cameras, and noise deterrent speakers, none of which brought any solution to the problem. So yeah, these people have spent a lot of money, okay, and a lot of time trying to handle this problem, okay? When you have homeless people camping outside of your business, okay, I guarantee that they were having theft or vandalism issues as well. And even if the homeless people weren't breaking into their property, they probably were leaving trash or excrement all over the place and scaring their customers away. So to me, a business owner has the right to say, hey, we're not going to just put up with this stuff. And, you know, it seems ridiculous to me that the city doesn't move these people out of there and that the business had to go to all these measures themselves. So here's a little story that I have about locally what's going on in Omaha, Nebraska. So here in Omaha, the homeless people actually had started camping on a sidewalk, right? And you know what happened? They had the police go and remove that encampment from the sidewalk. Okay, because we don't put up with that stuff here. And this stuff, you know, it isn't accepted everywhere throughout the country. But in California, the progressives, they feel so bad for the homeless people, they will let them destroy their city. They will let them, you know, turn their city into a crap hole and a slum before they physically remove these people. So yeah, business owners, property owners, it's left up to them to, you know, hire their own private security, to put up fencing, lighting, put out boulders, you know. What do they got to do? Stand out there and, you know, shoo the people away themselves? But that's pretty much what a business owner and a landlord has to do to get these people off of their property. And it is ridiculous, okay? What do we pay taxes for? And this is what we're paying taxes for, and this is the treatment we get from the city. But at least the city allowed them to put the boulders there. I've heard in some cases where landlords have tried similar near their properties. The city came in and said, well, no, you can't do this. This is against the law. Yeah, well, you know what? I say move your business out of the city. Take your tax money with it. Go to somewhere where you're treated with respect. It is not what the husband and wife expected when they began the process to purchase the building in May of 2021. We knew there were a lot of tents here, but we didn't think that overnight, literally, we would find this on our property. It happened quite quickly, said Mansour. The block surrounding their business could at one time be described as a city of tents, used by the unhoused as shelter. I stopped counting when we had 14 tents out here, said Mansour. When Sacramento police cleared the camps outside the property, the boulders went in quickly. Today, the grassy area that lines the building is home to only about 120 large boulders of all sizes and shapes, making it impossible to set up a tent or campsite. Mansour put them out over the weekend, which was no small feat. We had to get a bobcat with a little grappling hook to place all these, Mansour said. It's something that he and his wife called a last resort to keep the camps from coming back. It's a measure they did not want to take. However, they say the crime became too much for their tenants in the building to bear. So yeah, they said the crime was too much for their tenants. Okay, that their tenants are getting broken into, and you know, I don't blame them one bit. If their businesses are getting vandalized, if their businesses are getting broken into by all these homeless people, well, why do we have to be victims because you feel sorry for the homeless? You know, and it actually, I think it says here that they talk to one of these homeless rights people. They always do, because they seem to, these people, they don't seem to understand that hey, some people, there's no helping them. Okay, there's no helping them. If they refuse to get the drug treatment, if they refuse to move into the homeless shelters that we have provided, and they decide to live on the street, well, they are refusing our help. And now they're, causing problems for the law-abiding people, for the business owners, for the landlords, for everyone else. And we just can't put up with that stuff. So yeah, we have to come up with other solutions. And my solution would be, just to enforce our laws that are already on the books, which means that, hey, if these people are breaking and entering, right, we need to put them in jail. And no, there should be no bond nonsense that basically, does catch and release of criminals. No, if you can't pay this fine, you're going to sit in jail, okay, and serve your sentence in there. And that will just keep happening and keep happening until either you get the heck out of town because you can't deal with getting arrested all the time, or you get your act together, okay? And that's my personal opinion. They use this term, we are evacuating the building. We will come back when we are safe. It was heartbreaking, said Encampments. It was open drug use, prostitution at night, human waste, a lot of waste, said Mansour. The property owner said the Boulders have brought relief. It's a much different now picture than before. Admittedly, it's not a permanent solution. My concern is it's just whack-a-mole. We're moving the problem elsewhere. What it needs is a strong political solution, and that is what we are lacking, said Mansour. So yeah, he's absolutely right. The only thing that he's doing is, they're getting the homeless people out of, the area around their property and around these businesses, right? But those homeless people, they're not getting the treatment they need. They're not, actually getting help. We're not getting them off of the streets. The only thing we're doing is pushing them over to where there are no boulders, which might be a block or two over, where they're still using drugs, still using alcohol. They may still have the same mental health issues. They're still sleeping on the street and defecating everywhere, still breaking and entering, still causing all the same problems they were before. And this is a solution just for this small little area, and it doesn't solve the overall issue.